To make a zippered bag, you need 2 pieces of fabric for the front and 2 pieces of fabric for the lining. And I used polyester fleece to line the front piece of the fabric. To make the tabs on the edges of the zippers, I use a piece that is 4 inches by 1.5 inches. Fold that in half and then fold the top and the bottom into that half piece to create a piece of binding strip. Cut your zipper 1 inch smaller than the front of the bag. For this example, my fabric is 9 inches by 7 inches, so I cut my zipper 8 inches. Cut the bottom part of the zipper off and then unzip the zipper and then cut the top part off. Be very careful not to unzip the zipper all the way or you'll have to start with another zipper. Get the little binding strip started and then slip the zipper into the binding strip and then slip the bottom part of the zipper into the binding strip as well. You can do this in 2 separate sections. I just find it easier to go ahead and do the top and the bottom and then cut the 2 pieces apart. This is an added feature that I like to use on my zippered bags because it's cuter and it's actually a whole lot easier to sew when you're not trying to sew the corners of the zipper into the bag itself. Next, grab one of the top pieces and put the zipper right sides together, making sure that the zipper lands at about 1/2 inch from each side of the fabric. You'll then grab a piece of the lining and put that right sides together so that all 3 layers are level and even up at the top, and clip that all the way across. Stitch using a 1/4 inch seam, and you'll get down to where the zipper is and you need to reach in, pull it out of the way, and then make sure everything is still layered up nicely, and then finish off the stitch. Pull the lining back, make sure everything is level, and then top stitch that down. Now it's right sides together again, in which you put the top piece of the bag and right sides together with the zipper, and then right sides together with the lining. So you have all 3 of these pieces that are lined up, and you are going to do the same thing by stitching all the way across, reaching in, grabbing that zipper tab and pulling it out of the way, and finishing off your seam. Pull the lining back to meet the top piece, and once you have that level, then you need to top stitch across. This holds the fabric away from the zipper and gives it a nice, finished, professional look. This is where the magic happens. Grab the 2 top pieces, making sure that your zipper is open, that's very important, and take your 2 top pieces and line those up together and start to pin or clip those all the way around. And then you're going to make sure that your lining pieces match up as well. So now you've got lining to lining and top piece to top piece. If for some reason that these do not line up perfectly, you can give it a little trim. And this is a little trick that I like to do. I show myself exactly where I'm going to stop and start. And what I love to do is to sew about 1/4 inch inwards, put my needle down, and then turn the bag and go all the way around the outer perimeter. When I come all the way back around, I make sure that I stop, turn the bag again, and then sew off. Now what that's going to do is allow your 1/4 inch from both sides to find the fold and make a perfect place for where it's going to come together. See how that happens? It just automatically falls into place. So therefore you're not trying to push in a little bit of the fabric in order to either hand stitch it, or what I did right here was to use a little piece of steam seam and basically glue that into place so that I don't either have to hand stitch it or take it back to the machine and fill out that little place where the opening is. Then I get it all turned and fixed, and there we have the bag, and it looks beautiful just as it is. And now we are going to box the corners. Turn the whole bag inside out. Push your finger into the corner of the bag and flatten it. Lay that onto your cutting mat and measure up as much as you want it. I think I measured this one at about 1 inch on each side, and then I simply stitch across where that marking is back and forth a few times, and that will box your corners quite nicely so that when you turn it out, then you have a bag that now stands straight up. The top and lining pieces were cut at 9 inches by 7 inches, but you can certainly do it 10 by 8 or 6 by 4. I like to have 2 inches in between the width and the length, and go for it. Happy sewing.